Brooklyn, New York, what is good? If I sound out of breath, it's not because of the dancing. I'm good at cardio. It's because it wasn't until the clock struck 7:59 that I was like, I'm not wearing my cool shoes, and I frantically put on these sneakers. Okay, whoo! Now, if you're a listener of my podcast, you know that after I say hello to what city I'm in, I usually say, it is a delight to be here in your lovely city, in your lovely town, in your lovely state. Now, if you also listen to my podcasts, you know I make fun of Brooklyn a lot, which should make you all feel good because despite my dislike of Brooklyn, I am happy to say it is a delight to be here in your lovely city, in your lovely state. Even though the trains tried to conspire against me today, it was supposed to be just one train. Can you imagine getting to Brooklyn from somewhere else with one train? I can, and it didn't happen, but it was still so, I'm just still so excited about this show. I'm very excited to bring this show to you, and what is something I want to get off my chest is, as much as I poke fun at Brooklyn, and as much as I say that it's like really frustrating and blah, 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 there's definitely worse places in New York City. Anybody come from Staten Island tonight? Oh, they sell books in Staten Island? That's so cool. Okay, no, so I'm glad you're here. Now, the other thing I usually do in the beginning of these shows, especially when I'm on tour in other cities, is I will talk about what it's like to travel there and stuff like that. But this is the hometown show, so I can't do that. So instead, I'm happy to debut my 2 New York City specific jokes that I thought of a while ago and put into my phone for phone app purposes. And now I can share them, and that'll be the whole like, oh my God, New York, right? So let me get these 2 things out, and then we can start the show. So, I used to live in Midtown East, and I was there when One Vanderbilt was doing their whole thing where they were first opening out observation decks and stuff, and they had all these posters hyping it up, and they had one that said something to the effect of like, come to the observation tower of one of the greats similar to the Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building, which is just a wild thing to do, to be like, oh yeah, we're all so tall like these historic buildings. They have no history. That's why I always like to say that One Vanderbilt is he hot or is he just tall of buildings? And then the second joke is I was walking through Lower Manhattan because my beloved 2026 NBA champion New York Knicks won the championship. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, Brooklyn has a team, right? The Liberty, they're great. Shout out to the Lib. But what they did after we won is they did the thing where, you know, like it wasn't just 11th Street, it also was called Jalen Brunson Avenue, 32nd Street, Carl Anthony Towns Way. And if you've been around New York, you see they do like the double naming of streets. My goal in life is to either do something so philanthropic or become such a big deal that I get one of those streets named after me so that I confuse a tourist in the future. Because I remember early going to New York and I was trying to get somewhere and I was like, what is Avenue of the Americas? And it's like, oh, it's 6th, yeah. Okay, those are my New York jokes. Let's get into the podcast. Because podcast people anywhere not in New York would be like, shut up, talk about books. So we're gonna talk about books for this first act. We have 2 incredible, incredible guests. I'm very excited for both of them. They're absolutely lovely. Let's welcome both of them at the same time. Your guests tonight are Sequoia Simone and Caiola! Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Keep it going. Thank you.
We're getting situated. We're getting situated.
How's it going, folks?
It's going great. Mike, I have to say, you're such a wonderful host because I was very nervous about coming on here for a live show because I do a podcast and I curse a lot on it. And I don't know if you know, in this podcast, I'm not supposed to curse. And I was nervous about doing a live show. And then I listened to the episode you did on the Nico chapters, and you had an issue with the live stream, and you unleashed what I can only describe as a deluge of filth. And it really made me feel much more at home. So I know I can be beeped.
Yes, you can. We have the technology. It's all good. We're at a bar, so it's fine. Are there any children in the crowd? Sweet. You can do it. We can always beep you after the fact.
Get ready.
How are you doing, Sequoia?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I almost wore my Liberty shirt today. It was between the dress and the Liberty shirt.
Sure. We got the sports. I wore my Brooklyn Law School softball team jersey because it has Brooklyn really big on it to try. And
I walked here from home, so for the Brooklynites.
I also live in Brooklyn. Thank you.
Well, I think the outfit you chose is great.
posted on Instagram that it was going to take you one train to get here, and I was like,
I tempted fate. I
Yeah.
tempted fate. I still got
No.
here in the same time, but I had to transfer twice. Ugh. All right. Anyway, we are going to be covering chapters that statistically should be incredibly hype, and they are, having read them. The patrons decided, hey, these are the most hype chapters. So I did the most hype chapters for the New York City show to pay love to the hometown. We're going to be covering chapters 69 nice through 72 of the House of Hades. What Paul wanted me to get all.
Let's do it.
So we're going to be covering these chapters. Now, I feel like I've asked you so many questions already of the first time guests. You've been on so much.
Yeah.
You've been on enough.
I'm on 3. This is my 3rd. I
Okay.
think.
So have I asked you your nectar and ambrosia yet?
No.
Okay, let's do that one and then we'll get into this.
Okay.
Your nectar and ambrosia, so like your ideal food, your ideal
How many
drink.
courses do I have? Just one?
Let's just do one.
Okay. There is this restaurant in Florence called Trattoria Sostanza, and they make the tortellini that my grandmother and my great aunts used to make for Thanksgiving. So you ever go to Florence, go there, get the tortellini.
Yes.
And then the ambrosia is, for a twist, Mexican Coke.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The range of that answer is
They
so
don't go
good.
together.
Hard to achieve. You can get it at the bodega after the show. Great. So we're going to be covering chapter 69 to start. It is an Annabeth chapter. Obviously, we will retitle it. It opens with, quote, getting killed by Tartarus didn't seem like much of an honor. And then I wrote in my notes, oh, right, didn't Tartarus say that to end where we last left our heroes? And I think that's what it is. Tartarus took a human form and then was going to fight them. Oh, who's here has no idea what's going on? Who's like a significant other dragged along? One of my
That's
friends.
so
Great.
many.
That's a good chunk. So just pretend this first act is all a fun short story, and then the second act will be improv comedy. You know what's up. For the quickest recap, we have 2 demigod heroes trapped in the underworld, and they're in the deepest part of the underworld, which is called Tartarus, and that pit in the underworld has taken a giant human mortal form and is fighting them and their friends. And they're trying to escape via some magical elevator doors.
And he kind of describes like Thanos with the scrotum chin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very purple,
Scrotum
veiny,
chin.
muscular,
Yeah.
scary looking, and
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, I'd say sort of human. I wouldn't
Yeah.
go
Humanoid.
Humanoid. He's got
Yeah.
arms and legs, but his face is a whirlpool that sucks in enemies to him, as you do.
That's just like Cheryl at work.
Cheryl. Now, Annabeth thinks that she would much rather die falling down the stairs or quietly in her sleep in her 80s after a nice life with Percy.
I have a thought. Isn't there quite a delta between dying peacefully in your sleep and falling down the stairs?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like falling down the stairs leaves time for reflection. And I would prefer a lights out situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
And also, as the oldest person on stage, 80 feels young.
That's what I thought. I wrote in my notes, why stop at 80?
Why stop at
You're a
80?
demigod. Be hell.
Well, demigods usually die pretty young
Right.
because they're constantly attacked by monsters.
Yeah.
So 80's just really
So
optimistic.
80 feels really good to her, I think.
I feel like if you get 80, I mean, go to 100.
Keep
Why not?
going.
Go.
Get on the Smucker's jar. Do it.
A monster could push you down the stairs. Yeah.
There you go. And that's a true crime series that HBO is waiting to produce.
Call us.
Narrator Annabeth notes that this is usually the part where she makes some sort of witty comment to their opponents, but this just doesn't necessarily feel like the time to do so. She cannot find her voice. She's just so terrified by this that she can't really speak. And part of the shock also comes from the fact that all of the other monsters that are in the surrounding area are just leaving space for Tartarus to do his thing.
They're holding space.
Yeah.
They're holding space for Tartarus. I mean, he does have a whirlpool face
He
that is
does.
sucking in everything, including monsters and demons.
Including his own children.
Including his own children. So,
Yeah.
of course, they're standing back.
Yeah, don't want to make him upset. Now, even though he does have this aforementioned whirlpool face, Annabeth can tell by his body language that he is pleased with his new look, and that is confirmed when he says, quote, "It is good to have form. With these hands, I can eviscerate you." Love eviscerate. Real fun.
I don't think it's good to have form. I'm sorry.
It also says he's looking at his talons. He's like, diva. You know, like, got to get all of my demigod entrails out of here before I replace them.
There's a mirror, and he's like, oh, what?
Narrator Annabeth says, quote, "His voice sounded like a backwards recording, as if the words were being sucked into the vortex of his face rather than projected. In fact, everything seemed to be drawn towards the face of the god, the dim light, the poisonous clouds, the essence of the monsters, even Annabeth's own fragile life force. She looked around and realized that every object on this vast plain had grown a vaporous comet's tail, all pointing towards Tartarus."
Winifred Sanderson, Hocus Hocus Pocus hive unite.
Yes.
That is what that is.
100%.
Rick Riordan really cooks when he does these creepy descriptions, and I just love them. I can never get enough of them.
If Annabelle's life force is being sucked out, and that like sort of trail of whatever is Annabelle's life force, but every object is
Sorry,
doing
you
that?
said Annabelle twice.
Oh my God, Annabeth.
Once I was going to let it slide.
I did read the books. I promise I'm qualified to be here. Annabeth. Does that mean that all the objects also have souls? Is he like sucking the soul out of a table?
Ooh. Oh no, my fear when I was a child and I watched Toy Story, so I was really nice to all of my stuffed animals equally. Yeah. I would like rotate which one I slept with in the bed because I was like, I don't want Stitch to get mad at me.
Yeah. It's like when you skip a song on Spotify and then you feel bad for the song.
I genuinely, like, I was so deep into the nerdiness of having my iPod video, and one of the things you could like extend all the stats was times played. I'd feel really bad when there was an album I liked, but there was like 1 or 2 songs that I skipped and it had fewer plays than the other ones.
Yeah. And then you have a bad day and you're like, well, be better. It's not my fault you're a bad song.
I am 100% online with this.
You guys have a lot of empathy, and I love that for you. That's so fun.
Annabeth still wants to say something, make some sort of comment, but her instincts tell her to hide. She also realizes that anything she says could be voided because Tartarus could just poof them away if he wanted to, but he wants to rip them to pieces. He's doing this for sport. So Percy then does something that Annabeth has never seen him do before. He drops his sword out of fear, and he's just in pure shock, and even though the death mist, which before had them disguised looking like they were undead beings, even though he doesn't have that going on anymore, he still looks like the life has been completely sucked out of him.
Smack talk, Master Percy Jackson.
I know.
Come on, Percy. Hey, Tartarus, you can't spell abyss without
And that's why you want to know if you could swear. That's so fun.
Now I will get to have the internal struggle. Is bad enough to bleep or not? Emma, we'll talk about this later. Tartarus laughs, though it's more of a hiss, and he says that he delights in how their fear smells. It makes him consider that Gia might be right in wanting to wake. All of these physical senses are appealing. He just makes being a human sound so gross.
I mean, I will say again, having a body is a curse.
Yeah.
And and they shouldn't want that. If I could just melt into a puddle that didn't have aches and pains, that would be awesome.
So you want the secret life of Alex Mack, is what you're saying? Am I that
I
old?
don't know.
Nickelodeon
We're
TV.
the same
I know.
age.
Nickelodeon TV show where a girl got hit with like some. It was like a truck backed into something that sprayed out like some goo
Raise
on her,
of
and she
hands.
could turn into a puddle or not.
Who's got Alex
yeah,
Mack?
yeah.
Who's got
Oh,
Alex
it's
Mack?
Barely any people.
Oh,
It's
wow.
4
Look
or
at that.
5 people.
That's a tough draw.
These are my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, her whole thing was she could like flatten down into a like metal goo like from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
We've heard of that one. And she could like go under doorways and stuff. And
Yeah, I would like to do that.
I was struck in this moment of thinking of Gaia like trying to get Tartarus out of bed. You know, like, Tartarus, I made waffles. You know, like the Yzma voice, just like, knock, 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 dear.
Tartarus,
Tartarus, please.
Incredible.
I'm using the good syrup.
We have fresh strawberries.
Oh, strawberries. Tartarus is about to grab Percy when Bob the Titan steps in, saying that Tartarus has no right to meddle. I love this. I need Damison, our good giant friend who didn't join for the journey, to come along as I have predicted. We'll see what happens. And my next thought was, I don't know about saying he doesn't have the right to meddle, because he is Tartarus, the god of where they are.
That's true.
And
They are on his turf,
Yeah, his
actually.
next line is
They're
him
in his
being like,
house.
I can do what I please. We're in Tartarus, and that's my name.
Right. I agree. I liked that
Eminent
you-
domain.
Yeah. Eminent domain. That's what we're always saying.
Always talking about it.
I like that you didn't bring up anything. It's like meddling, though, Mike.
Oh, I didn't need to do too much promotion for Meddling Adults, which does have 3 episodes recorded and edited that I just need to do the production work of, but I'm so busy. I'll get there eventually.
I'm just trying to help.
I appreciate it. Everyone go listen to it. It's a very good podcast. Tartarus responds with that similar sentiment, but then Bob yells, charges, and goes for a spear thrust, but he is smacked aside by Tartarus. And Tartarus is confused as to why Bob didn't disintegrate disintegrate when he tried to suck him in, especially given that his brothers that were successfully sucked in are stronger than him. And Bob replies, I am Bob. And I can't believe that Marvel Studios stole Rick Riordan's flow bar for bar. File the copyright claim on I Am Groot right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I think this is so powerful. This is so powerful because it's like you deciding who you are, despite all of the circumstances that you have been through, makes you so powerful. I think this is just honestly such a great, beautiful point from Rick.
The most I grew up in Salt Lake City thing you could have ever said.
I mean,
I agree. It is very fun. I love
thank you for saying the quiet part out loud.
I love Bob fully realizing who he is.
Who he
and coming
is.
through.
Bob in these chapters is icon.
Really
Yes.
good. It's really good stuff. Shout out to the Bob fans in the crowd. So Bob explains that he chose to be more than Iapetus, his former name when he was just an evil, angry titan, and thus Tartarus cannot control him. And then Small Bob, the little skeleton cat, leaps out of Bob's janitor outfit and then hisses at the big purple guy, which I love. And then, if that wasn't cool enough, he grows into a full-size, translucent, skeletal saber-toothed tiger. Oh my goodness. I was freaking out. I was so excited.
That's just what I asked for Christmas.
I wanted this for him. It's so cool. It's the perfect time to evolve. It's like when you're playing Pokemon, you're right about to get into the Elite Four, but like in the fight right beforehand, it's like, Pikachu, you're a Raichu now? Yay! Like, oh, just so perfect. Such perfect timing. And after he does this, Big Bob goes, also, I have a good cat.
The best cat.
The best cat.
best cat.
The best cat. What's also great is in the next line, narrator Annabeth says, no longer Small Bob sprang at Tartarus, sinking his claws into Tartarus's thigh.
It's funny. You still call him Small Bob. It's like when you call the tall guy Small Tony.
Yeah, it's
you know?
tiny. Yeah.
Tiny Tony.
It's ironic.
Trademark.
It's fun.
Yeah.
What's also really fun about No Longer Small Bob is that he climbs up the leg of Tartarus, quote, straight under the god's chain link skirt. Tartarus stomped and howled, apparently no longer enamored with having a physical form. So did Small Bob. I think he was clawing.
Tartarus going commando.
Yeah, he's not wearing underwear under this kilt by
It's
any chance.
No way.
No way.
No.
He's only seen the outside form. He doesn't know what
he
goes
doesn't
under.
know.
Yeah.
He's like, what is this chafing?
What's going on? Is there Gold Bond medicated powder in Tartarus?
Where's the A&D ointment?
Hey, this podcast is not sponsored by Gold Bond.
But I would love it to be sponsored by A&D because that is the diaper cream that I use for the little one.
There you
so
go.
if you want to get on, do it so I can stop buying so much. So he does all that. Bob then pierces Tartarus in the side while he's distracted doing this. Tartarus tries to smack Bob aside again, but Bob is able to dodge it. And then Bob extends his fingers and the spear returns to his hand. I forgot that was a thing he could do with his spear. I think he did it in the Demigod Files, but I don't know if he's done it in this book yet. So for him to do the like comeback return lance was super duper cool. So that was hype. And Annabeth is pleasantly surprised, which checks out because she wasn't in the Demigod Files. So she might not have known that this was a thing that happened. Now, Tartarus says that he will kill Bob first and add his soul to his armor. His armor has these faces that move around in a cool pattern.
Right.
And he's going to add his soul to that, where it will slowly dissolve in eternal agony, which just made me write in my notes,
Yeah, I think they're selling that at H&M now.
Oh, fast fashion's gotten in on the...
Fast fashion, they've gotten in on Screaming Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narrator Annabeth says, quote, Bob turned towards Percy and Annabeth. The Titan grinned, which probably would not have been Annabeth's reaction to a threat of eternal agony. So then Bob instructs them to go for the doors. That's how they're supposed to escape. The doors of death should take them out of here. He says he will instead deal with Tartarus. And then the book ends this chapter with the following, quote, Tartarus threw back his head and bellowed, creating a vacuum so strong that the nearest flying demons were pulled into his vortex face and shredded. Deal with me? The god mocked. You are only a Titan, a lesser child of Gia. I will make you suffer for your arrogance, and as for your tiny mortal friends, ... Tartarus swept his hand towards the monster army, beckoning them forward. Destroy them! I love destroy them. It's so good. It's the best thing a villain can yell.
Now, Mike, I have to say the odds are looking pretty bad for Percy and Annabeth and Bob and Small Bob. And would you say those are better or worse odds than the New York Knicks faced in Game 4 when they were down by 29
Well, let me tell you, as someone who was in person in attendance at Game 4, which I will never stop bragging about for the rest of my life, shout out to Kelly for hitting refresh refreshed on Ticketmaster at the exact right moment that we could get face value tickets. So they were only 4-figure tickets and not 5-figure tickets,
Right.
As they were on the resale market. But we were down. The odds, I believe, according to Zoran Mamdani, was that we had a 0.4% chance of winning, and that's where New Yorkers thrive. God, that speech was so good. But it was great. I never had a doubt, though. You can check my text messages during halftime. I texted all my friends, it's just going to make the comeback better.
Yeah.
The comeback is going to be great. We still got this. And most importantly, the Wu-Tang Clan performed at halftime, and Method Man said Nixon 5 as they left the stage, and he's not going to lie. He's Method Man.
Line up after the show to check Mike's text messages.
Yeah.
Come through. I got them. Sent them to my buddy Wendy, who's been on the pod before. But thank you. I did not pay you to say this. So thank you for the absolute alley-oop dunk of making as many Knicks
for any
comments as
non-New
possible.
Yorkers who are getting annoyed listening to Mike talk about the Knicks, I went to...
Get ready, because it's never stopping.
I went to a coffee shop a week ago, and my name is Paul, which is not famously difficult to spell, and they wrote Nixon 5 on my coffee, which was...
Correct.
It's still... It's real. It's not just him. It's all over the city.
So good. So that's the end of the chapter, which I've retitled, Our Friend Has a Good Cat. What have you retitled chapter 69?
Small Bob has a coming out party.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I have 7 options. Let me see.
Prepared.
I'll pick this one. Tartarus sucks face.
That's good. Very good. Very good. Very, very good. Nicely done. Let's keep it rolling. Chapter 70 is called Annabeth. It opens with, destroy them. Annabeth had heard those words often enough that they shocked her out of her paralysis. She raised her sword and yelled, Percy! And I think the destroy them thing is funny because I wonder if this is one of those rating of books things where they can't say kill. They have to say destroy. Kind of like how in the Spider-Man cartoon, he could only kick, he couldn't punch. And Morbius could only suck plasma, he couldn't suck blood. Those things are the best. Why is kicking people okay but not punching? That makes no sense to me, but I loved that cartoon.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I like to think it's just a little fun Rick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and from a villain to henchman, destroy them is so good. It's just such the classic, like, destroy them. Oh, it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
I'm not going to say anything because all I can think about saying is a deep discussion on how you can use the F word in a PG-13 movie and how you can't. And that's not appropriate.
We'll talk about that after the show. So Percy grabs...
Line up after the show.
After the show,
Paul's
I'll tell you about that.
Check my text message here. Ask Paul about PG-13 ratings there. Percy grabs Riptide. Annabeth slashes the chains that are holding the doors of death in place. Percy starts fighting some of the bad guys.
I thought that was too easy.
The
honestly.
slashing of the chains?
Yeah. I was like,
she just has a
okay.
regular non-magical sword.
Yeah.
I guess maybe magical, but
But
it
just
was quick.
The chains? All right, we did it.
Yeah.
That's fine. And you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to complain
I had the
about
same
our
feeling.
heroes doing
They have
well.
enough going on, Sequoia.
Oh my gosh, no, we talked about this.
I agree. I felt like it was very quick, but I also was like, I'm invested in them
And you know
getting
what?
out of
It's
here.
fine.
So it's all good. So Percy first fights in Ri, and that causes him to yell, "Gah, stupid curses!" after he slashes them because they have the whole thing where if you defeat them, they give you a curse. I love him forgetting. I think it's really fun that it happened.
The
not too
curses
long
could be
ago.
more fun though.
Yeah.
What if he was just like got really ticklish or something?
That's what I thought of too.
Really?
He got tickled.
Oh my god, give me my brain cell back.
So the doors shake, and then they open with a ding, which is funny to me and Annabeth. The Bobs are still fighting Tartarus, but not necessarily harming him, but they are certainly annoying him. Annabeth dives into the doors and then holds them open with her foot, but then she just starts hacking away at all these approaching enemies, and she calls out to Percy, and he comes over. She asks if he's okay, and then he says, this curse is painful, but it's not going to kill me. And then he says, okay, you go inside, and I'm going to hold the button, because someone has to hold the button on the outside for 12 minutes. And she declines this offer, saying that Percy promised that they would never separate again. And she does call him Seaweed Brain in the comment, which makes it very cute and adorable.
Very cute.
And Percy responds, "You're impossible." And she replies, "Love you too." They're perfect. They're so perfect. I love them.
They are perfect.
I love that the House of Hades is the most like rom-com thing we've seen between the two of them as they trudge their way through the darkest pit of hell.
Yeah.
So fun.
But they're so cute doing it. I love it. Yeah.
It's good. It's a better rom-com than whatever what's the one that's out now that's also...
Oh, Sex Purge.
Yeah, right. But
One night only.
One night
One night
only.
only. Sex
I've
Purge.
heard enough about
Same
this,
thing.
and I was like, I'm finally going to read the Wikipedia. And I was like, this sounds so bad. This sounds so terrible.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It should be. Now, a group of Cyclopes charge ahead. Annabeth thinks, oh, this is going to be the end. She scoffs at the fact that her demise will be at the hands of Cyclopes. And her still having an anti-Cyclops grudge is so weird to me. Like, didn't you drop that yet? Didn't we solve this when you became friends with Tyson? Like, what are we doing? Why are you still like grumble, grumble, Cyclops?
I felt like it was more of like a, isn't it ironic, black fly in my Chardonnay?
Oh, where it's not
kind of emotion
irony.
rather than like, I really hate Cyclopes still. It's just like,
Is
all
that
I
a
need
saying?
is a knife. What? Sorry?
Is that a real saying, or did you just say that?
No, that's in
a
Alanis
real
Morissette's
saying?
Ironic. It's one of the things that isn't ironic, but is in the song Ironic, which, if you give her the most generous read, isn't it ironic that none of the things in the song Ironic are actually ironic? She's a genius. I love Alanis Morissette so much.
As you should.
So good. So
All the
good.
karaoke heads do.
So Percy then roars a battle cry, and out of one of the veins in the ground, because since this places Tartarus, the veins are the rivers of the underworld, it bursts out firewater from the phlegathon, which is really cool. And it's funny because when they first described that, I was like, oh, how fun flavor text. But no, chapters later, it actually comes to be something that Percy uses strategically. How cool.
Yeah. And I wish he'd use it strategically more.
Sure.
He does now in the other ones. I think this is probably the classic, like, I didn't think of this until, oh no, there's nothing else I can do. Let me try this Hail Mary thing.
Sure.
I think that's probably what it was, as opposed to why wasn't he using it earlier in Tartarus. But this is like the first time they had to fight people in the Tartarus underground. Before they were kind of just making their way through the death mist. So
Got it.
I think it lines up well.
It worked for me. Has anyone else had a phlebotomy go wrong?
Hey!
When they take the thing out and they don't get that fast up, it's like, whoa, you are pumping.
Yeah.
You would take out a whole horde of Cyclopes with that, let me tell you.
Phlebotomy, phlegathon, yay, look at all these floods. So this firewater does not heal the Cyclopes. It torches them to dust, which is good. Percy insists that Annabeth go into the elevators. They both can't stay, and I'm screaming at my book at this point, Damison, get in there. We'll have to see. They keep fending off baddies. They do this cool move where Percy ducks after Annabeth tells him to, and then she vaults off of him and then stabs an ogre in the head. Super cool stuff. Percy then,
and he's holding the doors open at that point.
I think
right?
he's holding it open. She says duck, and then he goes like this, and then she like goes.
I read this like 3 times. There is one line where they say Percy steps into the doors with Annabeth. So they're trading off.
Yeah,
it would be really funny if they did something cool, and then it's like ding, behind them. Like,
oh! So close.
So Percy then, after fending off more baddies, asks Annabeth, well then, you have a better idea? Perfect. And then narrator Annabeth replies, Annabeth wish she did. So she doesn't. She knows that they can't both go in without a button pusher. She worries about the doors vanishing if they let them close, since their whole thing is they're supposed to change location now that they're not chained down. So narrator Annabeth says, quote, the situation was so pathetically sad, it was almost funny, which I think is a good recap of it. Yeah. The monsters are getting closer. Bob's getting more tired. Tartarus is getting more used to his mortal form. He's finally able to knock Bob aside. Tartarus orders them to yield.
Tartarus is flexing.
He's hitting combos. Bob refuses, as Tartarus is not his master. And then Tartarus says, quote, die in defiance then. You Titans are nothing to me. My children, the giants, were always better, stronger, and more vicious. They will make the upper world as dark as my realm. And then he snaps Bob's boomerang in half, which is tragic. His spear, broom, boomerang combo. Bob screams in dismay. Small Bob snarls at Tartarus, and then Annabeth and all the surrounding monsters know this fight is about to end, and it's not looking good for the Bobs. This stuff.
How has the percentage gone down? Honestly, it's startling.
Yeah. We're entering the part in the third quarter where the Knicks were down by 29. Like that's where we're at.
We're just trying to help you understand what's going on.
But much like OG Anunoby, someone is coming through out of nowhere through a horde of enemies. God, it's perfect.
That was a basketball player.
Okay, so where do we leave off? Sorry. No, Knicks. Those
are in your notes? Wow.
Yeah, okay. Percy holds Annabeth's hand and says that she should stay here, but he's got to go help Bob. I love this. He feels regret about how he's left Bob in the past, wants to help him out this time around. Annabeth pleads with him that Tartarus cannot be fought by them, and narrator Annabeth knows that she's right, but she also knows that Percy won't listen. Quote, he couldn't leave Bob to die alone. That just wasn't him, and that was one of the many reasons she loved him, even if he was an Olympian-sized pain in the podex, which I know means butt, because I took Latin in high school.
I had never heard Podex before. I like it. I want to incorporate
You're
it.
gonna use it?
I'm going to try.
Pain in the
It's my word of the
Buttocks is fun,
day.
too. You get the alliteration.
Yeah.
It's good. But I mean, again, it's just so sweet. It's so sweet.
Right.
Annabeth says that they will join in this fight together, knowing that this will be their end, and the doors move on. So she's about to say now and let the doors close. But then, much like OG Anunoby, I just knew it. Like right off the bat, because it just said she was about to say now when ... And I was reading this on the subway and I was like, damn it. Like,
Not only that, but Tartarus was literally like, my giants are so good. It's like, be careful what you wish for, man.
yeah, he's about
Chekhov's
to
giant.
Say what?
Chekhov's giant.
Chekhov's
Yeah.
giant. So there is a disturbance in the enemy horde, and it sounds like something huge running out at top speed. A few monsters get sent into the air. There's some poison spraying, and then Annabeth begins to grin because she knows what's up. Oh, Gianna, nobody's going for a tip. The book says, quote, the Minoan draken spread its frilled collar and hissed, its poison breath filling the battlefield with the smell of pine and ginger. It shifted its 100-foot-long body, flicking its dappled green tail and wiping out a battalion of ogres. Riding on its back was a red-skinned giant with flowers in his rust-colored braids, a jerkin of green leather. and
Tunic.
A jerkin is what I had. Is that because I have the British PDF?
No, it's a tunic.
A tunic.
It's a jerkin.
Okay. Oh, but is that what's in the English one too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what a jerkin was.
What is it?
It's like a tunic.
It's like a tunic.
It's like a tunic.
Like a top.
Why do you know
Like
that?
a sensible summer top. I don't know. I read a lot of fantasy books growing up.
And I famously didn't. A jerkin of green leather and a draken-rid lance in his hand. Damison, Annabeth cried. The giant inclined his head. Annabeth Chase, I took your advice. I chose myself a new fate. Oh, let's go. I could only imagine if this showed up in a TV show that the song Hold On, I'm Coming would play. Like you just get as they're getting like thrown aside and then he shows up. Hold on. It'd be so good. That's the end of chapter 70, which I've retitled. It's about damn time, son, for Damison's return. Mhm.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
Mine was, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't care. Enter the Dracon.
Oh, I like it.
That's good. That's really good. I did mine specifically for this New York show. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. Love it. Now we progress on to chapter 71. Quote, what is this? The god of the pit hissed. Why have you come, my disgraced son? And then Damison gives Annabeth a look that translates to go, now. And then he faces Tartarus. The draken snarls at him. And then Damison calmly, which is very important for how cool this is, calmly reminds Tartarus that he asked for a more worthy opponent, so here he is. Quote, one of the giants you are so proud of. You wished me to be more warlike? Perhaps I will start by destroying you. And then he rushes at him with his lance pointed at him. Oh, come on, it's so good.
Be careful what you wish for.
You just might get it.
You just might get it. Yeah.
The baddies then swarm him, but the draken just bests all of them, knocking them all aside. Damison then begins just stabbing Tartarus, forcing him to retreat. Bob then begins to leave the fight, and Percy does some river bursting, and he's using more than just the one river. Quote, some monsters were vaporized in Styx water, others got a cocytus shower and collapsed, weeping hopelessly. Others were doused with liquid lethe and stared blankly around them, no longer sure where they were or who they were. Rick just does such a good job of giving himself a fun playground to play with and then playing with every part of his playground.
Exactly.
It's so good.
I think Percy should go around being Bob 2, Bob 3, Bob 4.
Use what you got.
Use what you got.
Yeah, use what you made
yeah,
here.
yeah.
It's really good. I really enjoy. Yeah, that would be so good. I just love it. It makes me think that Rick would be a great DM, just like setting up all of these things that you could have in a Dungeons and Dragons game. Like, it'd be so fun.
good.
It'd be so fun. So,
Rick, come on.
Rick. The next time I chat, I'll let him in. A very beat up Bob arrives at the doors of death. He's still managing to smile though, which is great. He offers to hold the button, which is so sweet. Absolutely so
very
sweet.
sweet.
And Percy begins to protest, but Annabeth says, we must. We
Yeah.
have to do this. And Percy simply doesn't want to leave them behind. Bob calls him a friend and says that they absolutely have to. Bob insists that he will be all right, as he has enough strength to push the button, and Sabretooth Bob can defend him for the 12 minutes that he has to hold it.
Good cat.
Yeah,
And
best cat.
Proving to be a good and the best cat, Sabretooth Bob purrs in agreement. The cutest way to confirm something. So Bob then further backs this decision by stating that it's Percy's destiny to return to the above world and to end the threat that is Gia. Damison, who is now atop the Draken, keeps fighting Tartarus and throwing insults at him, which is just such a great vibe.
That's the thing about Tartarus is like you gave yourself a body to stab.
True. Yeah. That you
Be careful what you wish
be
for.
careful what you wish for. The recurring theme of these chapters.
Sequoia told you that having a body was terrible. Remain a blob.
I told you.
Should have just been a pit of goo. Should have been a pit of goo. Would have been fine. Now, Damison is doing this fighting, and he's very importantly forcing Tartarus farther and farther away from the doors of death. That is what's crucial here, so that it's not only fighting, but distracting him and keeping our crew safe. Tartarus yells back at Damison that he cannot be killed, for he is the pit where they all are. It would be like trying to kill the earth. And before he said the next line, I was like, that's a shame, because the next bad guy we have to face is the earth. And then the next line is him claiming that both he and Gia are eternal. So not looking great for who we have to fight with, but it is what it is.
It's like a 29-point deficit.
Right? But that's where we thrive.
I swear, if you say one more thing about basketball, I am leaving. No.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
And also, the odds of that are way higher than 0.4%. I'm on stage. I am on stage at this show. So he says they're eternal, and then he tries to punch Damison, like tries to bring a fist down on top of him, but Damison's able to dodge away from it, and he responds by jabbing him through his neck, which sounds painful.
That's the other thing. If you're so big, it's hard to move around and get to you're just like, you have the power to become anything, and you chose sort of like the worst option.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you look at people doing robotic stuff, that a lot of time they will make them like robo-humans, and it's like, surely there's something better, right? There's gotta, like, there must be something, like...
Again, having a body is a trap.
So... even though this should be really painful, Tartarus yells in a way that narrator Annabeth clocks as more annoyance than pain, and then he tries to do the suck face move again, but then Damison is able to avoid the strength of this pole. Percy pleads again to Bob that he cannot stay, as Tartarus will destroy him for eternity and he won't come back this time, and Bob says, who knows what will be? You must go now. Tartarus is right about one thing, we cannot defeat him, we can only buy you time. Bob has grown so wise. He is a sage. I
Bob
love
has
it.
self-actualized.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it.
And that's where his power lies.
That's true. He's labyrinthing so hard. Labyrinth? Anyone know Labyrinth?
David
you have
Bowie's
no power,
Labyrinth?
right? Okay, yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. But it's okay. I haven't seen this Labyrinth either. I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth or David Bowie's Labyrinth.
This Labyrinth.
That's how. Yeah, that's for the folks at home. I put my my hand on my face and did the eye thing. That's the only thing I know about Pan's Labyrinth. I know Del Toro and then face eye.
It's a visual joke for the podcast people.
Yeah, that's why you got to buy tickets. So, yeah, I mean, look, I believe you that he's labyrinthing. But anyway, Damison is avoiding the pull. Percy is pleading to Bob. Bob is being wise. The doors begin to close on Annabeth's foot. I want to know how sensitive it is. Like, is it one of those old school ones where it comes all the way and does it?
Right.
Is it like, do you have to wait? Is there a door open button? Does it actually work?
Right.
All that kind of.
Does it like, is it like crushing your foot before it realizes that your foot is there?
Right.
Yeah. How much
There's just
damage
one
are we
baby
doing?
Telkeen in there pressing door close as hard as it can.
I've lore dropped this on a bonus episode we did for Professional Talkers, but I almost worked for an elevator company in New York when I was trying to get engineering jobs before Potterless took off and I got a podcast job to move from Seattle to New York. I was in like the final rounds of interviews at an elevator company whose office was in the Chrysler building, which was going to be like the coolest version
That's
of
cool,
engineering
yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That was
And then you'd be able to tell us more about how elevators
I
work.
would. The
So-
only thing I can say is that I like that the door close button in the elevator of my building actually does close the door.
Mine does
'Cause
too, yeah.
I love hitting that to do it. And I've only a couple of times when I'm like really in a rush and someone's coming, I'm pushing a button and I'm pretending I'm hitting door open. And I'll be like, why isn't it working? As I push door close. Only if I'm in a big rush. Anyway, Percy Jackson. So let's see. Where were we? Nix. So they begin to close on Annabeth's foot, and then Bob says, 12 minutes, I can give you that. And once he said 12 minutes, I could only think of the High School Musical 3 song where, what does it say? Is it 10 minutes? 16 minutes? Yeah, but they're like,
That was way more people than have seen the Labyrinth.
no, that was there should have been everybody. But yeah, it's like in the beginning when they're doing the basketball, and they're like 16 minutes. But this, I just kept being like 12 minutes, 12 minutes, 12
And I thought you only got 12 minutes to save the world.
That's me too. This is dangerous.
Is that your retitle? Because if it's not, I should.
It was not.
Okay, I'm gonna steal that.
Okay, you got it.
Because that's really good. But yeah, the 12 minutes. Oh wow, that's what a pull! What a pull! Annabeth asks Percy to hold the doors as she gives Bob a big hug, kisses his cheek, all with tears just streaming down her face, and then she reminds him that monsters are eternal and they will never forget him and Damison. They will tell their children. And I was like,
Yeah.
Especially as a dad, I was like, Percy, you taking notes?
Yeah.
Because you've thought about having kids. I don't know that she's ever expressed interest in that. Like, it would be I obviously have not read ahead. That's kind of my whole thing. But I would love if at the end of the book, Percy was like, so when we were in the elevator, you said something about children. And then she'll be like, don't get any ideas, seaweed brain, or like, play your cards right, seaweed brain. Yeah, something like that. But when she said that, I was like, that's very cool. That's very fascinating, especially not just for what it means for their relationship and everything, but most importantly, Rick can write more books if they have kids, and then I can have more job security. Shout out to the trailer for season 3 dropping last night.
Yeah.
And the D23 stream ending, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that no one would be watching that instead of attending the show. Thank you again, Disney, for scheduling with me in mind. But yeah, she says that, which I was eyebrows raised for that. She says they will tell their children and keep the story alive. Quote, someday you will regenerate. I thought it was really sweet. It was really cool.
Sweet.
I like it. It's kind of like the Coco thing of like, but the good version. You know, if we continue to tell your story, you won't really fade away.
We're allowed to talk about Coco.
Remember me.
Cut it out.
Sequoia will be in the middle crying about Coco after the show, so line up with her and you can sob. Bob adorably ruffles her hair, smiles, and says, that's good. He says, until they meet again, they should go greet the sun and the stars for him. And we did that. I was like, I know, future book. So he tells them to be strong, as there likely will be more sacrifices that they need to make along the way to defeat Gia, which is like less sentimental. Like, I get that it's an important message, but it is kind of fun to be like, all right, bye, see you later. You're probably going to have to do things harder than this. And I know this was hard as you're currently crying a lot. Like, it's just wild to throw in the goodbye. Some intense foreshadowing from Bob.
Yes.
I think it's really cool that, because like you read these chapters in the beginning, you're not quite sure why they're Percy or Annabeth. Like they could be either one for the first two, kind of. And it starts to solidify why it's Annabeth here. And it's he's a very good writer, Rick Riordan. I don't know if you know that. And he accesses everything that he's used to make this emotion hit. In this part.
It's really smart. And it's something that I think has really come into form specifically in the House of Hades. When you have multiple narrators, multiple points of view, it's third person, so it's kind of different. But this book has just felt so strong with each narrator feeling like themselves, and then kind of like what you're saying, seeing the reason of like, oh, that's why so-and-so is doing this time. Like, I'm sure when Rick was mapping this all out, he had, I don't know, a whiteboard or Post-it notes or whatever, but I'm sure he had to move everything around, and it just seems like it all fell into perfect place with the story he told. The narrators are always correct at the right time. It's really fun.
And it really, like, like Damison and Bob are all talking about like, I'm choosing this. I am choosing this. Right. They didn't have to save Percy and Annabeth. They could have gone back to Tartarus and had a little powwow with each other. No one's going to bother them.
No.
You know?
I mean, it's the self-actualization thing that you were talking about that gives them their power. Yeah. And now this is a self-help talk.
7 tips of defeating monsters, and was it 7? What's that? I don't know. I'm so glad I don't know the title of that book. Make friends and influence people. Whatever, that guy.
Something like that.
I pretended to read that one for a class in college. All right, he's foreshadowing. He insists that they go now. Annabeth grabs Percy's arm, brings him into the elevator, looks at Damison and the Draken fighting, and then hears Tartarus order the monsters to stop our team from leaving via the elevator doors. And then Sabretooth Bob snarls in preparation for a fight. And this chapter ends with the following quote: Bob winked at Annabeth, hold the doors closed on your side, he said. They will resist your passage. Hold them. The panel slid shut. I think, thank goodness for this warning, but very last minute to be like, oh, also, there's a very important thing that you're going to need to do for 12 consecutive minutes while these evil doors try to actively fight against you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the elevator ride itself is not fun. I don't think it's just going to be like a slow ascent. I imagine it'll be like, Wonka Vader. Like, it's going to be not fun. But also now we have to hold the doors shut because they're actively going to try and open?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. But I'm glad he gave the warning. I feel like he probably should have done it a little sooner.
It's probably like, hey, close, keep those doors closed, and then like, hey, sorry, you're gonna have to make more sacrifices later.
So that is the end of chapter 71, which I, thanks to Paul, have now retitled Only Got 12 Minutes to Save the World.
Okay.
What are your retitling of chapter 71?
Mine's a little weird. It's a little esoteric on this one. Annabeth learns the Serenity Prayer, which is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right?
Wow.
And that's
I
what she
love
has
it.
to do there.
I love,
Wow.
so backstage Paul was talking about, what chapter title to pick, and he was like, I have this one that's very esoteric, and Sequoia and I were like, the show's in Brooklyn, it's fine.
Do it.
Shout out
Do
to the
it.
person in this area that went, yes, and snapped 3 times. I love it.
I titled it A Giant Hitch in Tartarus's Plan.
Hey, very good, very good, very good. All right, and we will now close it out with chapter 72, which is pretty quick. It's an Annabeth chapter, which we will retitle, of course. It opens with, Percy, help me. Annabeth yelped, and I wrote, oh, geez, you never want to be yelping.
It never
is
ends.
good. It's just always, it's always a struggle. So she slams against the left door, pushing it closed. Percy follows her lead and does so for the door on the right, and they have nothing to hold on to. So no like bar. I feel, again, I would know more if I worked for the elevator company, but that feels like legally every elevator's got to have one of those bars that you can grab, especially if you're terrified of elevators. Like, you need to have your nothing to grab at all.
Nothing to grab. And then also like the doors, it's not like there's something to grab
No,
on the
it's
doors.
just
They're
like
just like
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm sure they're very slippery.
It's making that squeaking noise.
Oh, of course.
on
They're
the
those
skin.
metal, like,
Yeah.
it's not good.
Nope.
Nope,
No
nope, nope,
thanks.
nope. So she's doing that. Percy's doing that as well. And they can feel that the elevator is trying to emit them. It's trying to shake them out into whatever void exists between Tartarus and the surface world.
Before we go any further,
Yes.
I have to talk about the fact that Rick wrote that the Pina Colada song is playing.
Yes. My next note is LOL, the
We
elevator
must
music is
say.
playing
Yeah.
muzak.
Okay, if we are going to play a song that's based on a tropical cocktail,
Yes.
the Pina Colada song is, of course, about 2 people who are married who decide they're bored, they want to cheat on each other. One of them places a personal ad, the other one answers it, and they get back together. That is what the Pina Colada song is about, children.
Never
Yes.
forget.
Margaritaville is about someone who is so full of heartbreak that he's drinking himself stupid on a tropical island. And I feel like Rick is really leaving some pain for Percy on the floor here by not giving him 12 minutes of Margaritaville or some other song about regret, or like 12 minutes of Careless Whisper.
Yeah.
Like over and over again, just to twist the knife on these demigods. What are we doing?
I feel like you are the most authoritative person to answer this because they mentioned it was muzak, and when they say muzak, the first thing that comes to mind for me is always the girl from Ipanema.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, every time.
Do you know what that song is about? Because I only know it as the muzak song.
I only know that it is about a girl from Ipanema,
Okay.
and I think that is the extent of it,
Okay.
unfortunately. Whereas, like, Copacabana is about sexual
the
assault.
plot of that
Yeah.
one is wild.
That is
one's
really wild.
Yeah.
Because
It's-
I had to look up the lyrics to this because I went to see O'Mary for the 4th time because they keep doing too good a job of casting.
Oh, they're doing a
They
great
keep
job.
giving them so much money. They've cast Bowen Yang next. Oh, fine, I'll go again. But no spoilers. But Copacabana comes up in the play. And that's all I'll say. So it was stuck in my head, and I was singing it, and then I had to change the words a little bit because my daughter is in the repeat everything people say phase.
Yeah.
So Lola was just a dancer instead of a showgirl, and trying to make it a little more. It's still she's dancing. But then I was like, I kept listening to the song.
Yeah.
First off, I had no idea that song was by Barry Manilow.
Oh, yeah.
That is wild to me. Like, I first played it, I was like, oh, this is like a Barry Manilow cover of Copacabana, and then I was like, he's the original artist of Copacabana.
You know where there is a cover? Liza Minnelli on The Muppet Show. Full dramatization of the Copacabana with Liza Minnelli as Lola, and everyone else is a Muppet.
I'm assuming she has feathers in her hair and,
Of course
and a
she
dress cut
does.
down to there. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I was like, let me look at the lyrics and like listen to the song, and I was like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah.
yeah.
Were the
so-
Muppets addressing gun violence?
Yeah. Yeah, I can only say yes. It was not who.
All right.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I remember Sweetums was in it. I'm failing you.
We'll
I'm
have
so
somebody
sorry.
with the
Someone-
video
yeah.
pulled up in the back. Yeah.
Robert, who's doing the merch table,
While I'm giving that
after
talk
show,
about the
we'll be
F-word and
watching that
PJ-13
part of the
movies,
Muppets.
I will look it up.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so anyway, Percy Jackson, yeah, he's picked Escape, the Pina Colada song in parentheses. And I was surprised that Rupert Holmes is catching strays here. He's the artist. I did have to Google it. I didn't know off the dome. But narrator Annabeth says, quote, if all monsters had to hear that song about liking pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, no wonder they were in the mood for carnage when they reached the mortal world.
I don't think it's that bad.
That's
Someone
why
get
this
some
is
aloe to Rupert
skyrocketing up
Holmes.
my list of questions to ask Rupert Road and be like, what do you have against Escape? Because like, yeah, it's kind of annoying as an earworm, but it is very catchy. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's kind of fun until you learn what the song is about.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And ask him why he didn't consider Jimmy Buffett.
yeah, hey, we'll get it. We'll figure it out. Maybe he's a huge Buffett head.
He's a parrot head.
Oh, parrot head.
Yeah.
What they're called?
They're called parrot heads,
Why do
yeah.
you know that?
Because I'm old.
I gotta get you in touch with my friend Adrian, who for his birthday at least once did a thing where they went to every floor of Margaritaville in Times Square, which is 7 floors, and it was like a 1-bar pub crawl of just having a drink at every floor.
I can't imagine a single one of them was good.
Probably not. He
Yeah,
did a house
no.
party version of the next year, which I did attend and was phenomenal, and it was very fun. But anyway, Percy Jackson. So Percy is distraught about leaving Bob and Damison behind to die for them. Annabeth agrees that it's awful, and as the narrator lets us know that she thinks it's the hardest thing that she's ever done, which I think is great because Luke can kick rocks. Having him die, not as hard as this. Goodbye, Luke. Don't miss you. For years at Camp Half-Blood, Annabeth longed to be on quests, but now she realizes that the hardest thing for a daughter of Athena to do is to take a step back and to let others face danger, especially when they are friends. Quote, she had to face the fact that she couldn't protect everyone she loved, she couldn't solve every problem, she hated it, but she didn't have time for self-pity. She blinked away her tears.
Why is Rick Riordan reading my therapist's notes from my session to put in his book? Rude.
It's really good. He's really, really good. So she tells Percy to watch the doors as they begin to slip open. She then catches a glimpse at his facial expression, and he looks absolutely furious. And she hopes it's not at her. And thankfully, Percy lets us know who he's mad at soon after by muttering, I will kill Gia. I will tear her apart with my bare hands. And I love Rage Percy. We got a little bit of like symbiote Spider-Man Percy earlier with the evil water and stuff. And now him having some rage against Gia, I think is fantastic. I love it.
I also really like that I know there's some like discourse about the fatal flaws and the way Rick uses fatal flaws in the books, but I think it's kind of like, oh God, I'm going to sound old again. Buffy, where like the difference in Buffy is that she has her friends, right? That's why she's different in that world. Like these people have fatal flaws. Annabeth's fatal flaw was pride. It dragged her down into Tartarus, but because Percy wouldn't leave her behind, she survived. And now Percy's fatal flaw would mean he would have stayed behind and died in Tartarus, but Annabeth was able to stop that because she was able to make the sacrifice and be the leader in the right moment.
Wow. Yes! So good. That's why I have very smart, intelligent people on, so it can be like incredible, great, literary analysis. And then I'm like, remember when the Knicks won, guys?
And also Muppet Show references.
Yeah. Oh, Statler and Waldorf.
Perfect.
Shout out to when we went to the Jim Henson exhibit at
Yeah.
the Museum of the Moving Picture.
Exactly. And
they
then you were
had-
like, I've never seen The Labyrinth. And I was like, what?
I didn't know Henson did the puppetry.
Yeah.
Wild. It's very, very cool. All right. But anyway, I love Rage Percy. Annabeth nods, but thinks about Tartarus's bragging from before. He and Gia are eternal and cannot be killed. She thinks that even titans and giants are outmatched, so demigods have no shot. And then she thinks about Bob's warning that they'll have more sacrifices to make because Annabeth always has to one-up thinking about the worst thing ever with the next worst thing ever. She prays to Athena that Bob can last for these these 12 minutes to defend them, and she prays for strength and for wisdom, and she wonders where the doors will take them. Hopefully, her friends are on the other side once they open, and the book ends this chapter with the following. "We can do this," Percy said. "We have to." "Yeah," Annabeth said. "Yeah, we do." They held the door shut as the elevator shuddered and the music played, while somewhere below them, a titan and a giant sacrificed their lives for their escape. And the fact that they did escape, I was like, which is why I have retitled this chapter, "Come With Me and Escape," which is from the Pina Colada song.
I mean, I just renamed mine Escape, parentheses, the Tartarus song.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's very, very good.
I went elevator muzak from hell.
Oh, that's very good. That's very, very good. Beautiful.
Hey, it's Mike from the future here. This is normally where I tee up going into intermission, but before we do, I want to let you all know that there is a very special way that we're doing the rest of this episode that's different from the norm. So at the live show, what we did after intermission was we did Percy Jackson-inspired improv. We asked the crowd to tell us either a story about a time that they felt like they were living out a Greek myth or a wild story from camp. Now, it being audio only doesn't really fit for the podcast, but I did video record the entire improv set, and I've put it up over on the TNO YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@Newest Olympian or check out the link in the description of this podcast episode. But if you want to see all of that, it was really fun. I had an absolutely stacked cast of New York-based improvisers, and it was absolutely hilarious. You really ought to check it out. Then what happened after that was Q&A, and the audio from that will be in this episode. So now I'll get back to me teeing up intermission, saying goodbye to the podcast people, all of that. We'll do our mid-roll break, and then there will be Q&A with very special guests, Sherry Guo and Robert Gaymer from the Damn Media page. That's what we're doing. Alrighty, cool. Back to the podcast.
And that is the end of this portion of the episode. If you're all listening to the podcast after the fact, we're going to break now for intermission, but let's all say goodbye to the podcast people. Goodbye, podcast people.
Hello and welcome to the House of Headlines Auxiliary Shubio edition, but I'm not sitting on the floor this time. That's right, I cleared off the stuff on top of my dresser. Look at me go, progress, woo! So, I am recording this one on Saturday night. Ooh, does that mean I'm going to get the podcast episode up Saturday evening? I don't know. Will I get it up earlier Sunday? Yes, at the very least. Or latest, at worst case, it's getting up early, and that's one of the perks you get for joining the TNO Patreon. You get ad-free episodes, you get early release episodes when I get ahead of schedule, and this is looking like one of those weeks. But we've got updates with the podcast, we've got cool stuff to discuss, so let's discuss all of that cool stuff. As I mentioned before teeing up the intro, you can see the video version of the improv portion over on the YouTube channel. Patrons already got access to that a week ago. Patrons also got access to the video version of the first act of the show a week ago. That's another Patreon perk, and that was an all-patron thing. Every now and then I do special little gifts for anybody that's a patron. Now, if you do want to see the video version of the podcast portion of the show, that's over on Patreon, and it's available for all patrons, and that's also where you get cool things like director's commentary. I am posting behind-the-scenes looks into episodes, and in this one in particular, I'll talk about everything that went into the show, stuff that happened before the show, during the show, after the show, and there's a bunch of other cool stuff on the Patreon, so check all of that out. If you enjoyed this live show and you live near Boston or Philly, or you don't mind traveling to one of those places, I've got 2 shows in those cities coming up in September. Boston is on Sunday the 20th of September, and Philly is on Sunday the 27th of September. Very excited about those shows. I have to figure out exactly what I'm doing with guests and all of that, but the plan is to cover the beginning chapters of Book 5. I'm not sure exactly what chapters, but if you follow @Newest Olympian on Instagram, I will post about what we're covering once I figure out with the schedule what's going on. As far as events later in the year, I'm happy to announce that I will be donning my monocle and top hat as a distinguished member of the press at New York Comic Con 2026. There is the event for Rick's new book, The Wild Zone, Camp Half-Blood: The Wild Zone, that he's co-authoring with Annabelle O. That's a book that takes place between The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters. And because that one should be a spoiler-free read for me, my plan is to read it and cover it either on the podcast or on Patreon or something. But they're doing a book event at Comic-Con. I will be attending that. Walker Scobell is doing a talk. I will be there. So if there's any other bonus content, interviews, reel type things that I can post, I will post. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'll be there. And if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, reach out to me, whether that's social media, Patreon, email, let me know. Would love to say, hey, I should be there for at least part of it. Let's go to the Uncle Rick thing. I'll be there. Yeah. Now, I have mentioned the Patreon, so I want to give a shout out to the folks who have joined the Patreon most recently. Shout out to our newest God tier patron, Ipsita, who I spoke with at the New York City live show that you're hearing right now. She wore a Stevie Nicks Taylor Swift Knicks shirt to the show, and then we talked about the Knicks. It was glorious. Shout out to Ipsita. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon after the show. And then shout out to our newest demigod tier patrons, Slack617 and Amy. Thank you all so much for your support. May Hermes bless you that if you're trying to go somewhere that's supposed to just take one train, since he's the god of travelers, hopefully you don't have the same situation I did getting to this live show where I had to transfer twice, 3 trains instead of just one. That's 3 times as many as I was supposed to do. Ugh, hope it doesn't happen to you. Now, if you're all caught up with the Newest Olympian and you're looking for some new content to consume, you're in luck because I make a whole bunch of content, and it's not all podcasts. If you enjoyed the D&D discussion that we had in this episode, you might like to know that I did D&D for quite some time, multiple years, live streamed with some other podcasters, some of whom you've heard on this podcast before. So it was a show called 20 to Midnight, and we're currently in a little bit of a break hiatus because we finished our first campaign. But if you go to our YouTube channel and you search 20TO Midnight, you can see and watch all the replays of the streams that we did. It was really fun. I played a bard. I had a blast. There's some really fun storytelling. It's very cool in that Gabrielle, our DM, goes all over the place with what can be in our world, whether that's high fantasy stuff or dinosaur races. It's an absolute blast. It was really fun. I loved making it with Gabrielle and Emma Shajarko and Beth Ayer. And you can watch replays on YouTube by searching for 20 to Midnight. Now, unless you're listening on Patreon where you get access to ad-free episodes, you're going to hear words from a few sponsors who make it feasible for me to be a full-time podcaster. Some of those ads will be read by me, and others of them won't be. The ones that aren't read by me are inserted locally. So if you live in Luxembourg, don't be surprised if you hear an ad in Luxembourgish, cool language, German, or French. But once those ads complete, we'll get back to this episode of the Newest Olympian, which is Q&A with Sherry Guo and Robert from the Damn Media page. One note about the Q&A section that is to come is that we had to share one wireless microphone between the 3 of us, so at times the audio might not be super clear. That's on me for not clearly directing to the audio guy what exactly we needed for the Q&A section. So we just had to make do with what we do, and you know what? To go from improv to further improvising just felt right. It's what you got to do. Roll with the punches.
We have time for a little bit of Q&A to end out the show. So we're going to close it with me being on stage, joined by surprise guest, Sherry Guo. Sherry! Sweet. All right. And we've got less surprise. You saw him earlier. Robert from the Damn Media page doing questions. Woo! Okay. I think we're going to pass around the wireless mic for this. So hit us up with the questions. We'll hit you up with the answers.
I want to do a quick thing first, if we can have some audience interaction, because this is New York. I have a comment I left on one of your Instagram posts that you really liked, so I want to see if we can get the audience to do it. Your line, you're going to know when I point to you. My Olympian is newest. My cookies, they're the bluest. This show is live. Knicks in 5. All right, let's do Q&A. First one comes from this nifty little podcast you might have heard of them called Monster Donut. Now, this question, first one, really quick, yes or yes? Do you ship Bob and Damison? Yes or yes?
Yes.
There we go. The next one says something something New York Knicks NYX. And the third is the actual question. Who from Percy Jackson are we stunt casting in Oh Mary? Because it's not Percy, because Percy can't sing.
I need the microphone so that the podcast people can hear me. So we're stunt casting people in Oh Mary. Mr. D, you say? As Lincoln. Okay, yeah, here, let's get all, okay. Mr. D is Lincoln. Who's being the titular Oh Mary? Who's the most dramatic and over-the-top? Hera would be good. Coach Hedge would be a powerful, I believe Coach Hedge would be a powerful Lincoln.
Grover as Simon?
Grover as Simon is absolutely perfect. I love that a lot. Tantalus, he was very extra. I mean, no, Mr. D as Mary is really strong. I like Mr. D as Mary.
Mary's teacher?
Yeah. Who's gonna bring... Apollo, that's very good. Yeah, that's very good. And then Mary's chaperone. Yeah. Mary's chaperone.
So chaperone Mr. D?
We've made Mr. D Mary. Oh wait, Argus, with all of his eyes. Great, that's such a fun question. Okay, I was so caught up on the NYX thing, I was like, the 3-letter acronym for the Knicks is NYK. What are they talking about? Yeah. Okay, what's the next question?
Next question comes from Rachel, who says, you mentioned that you'd want your name on some New York City street if you became super famous or philanthropic. What street would you want your name on, and what would it say?
I would want my street to be 17th Street because it's my favorite number. I would want it, if I'm going by the classic, it would be Mike Schubert something. So, I mean, Mike Schubert's street doesn't hit as, I would want one of the like weird ones that's like not as popular. Like Court is an option, like Boulevard maybe, Circle, Alley. Alley sounds, I don't think I want Mike Schubert Alley. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Yeah, I feel like Mike Schubert Boulevard has a ring to it. If you had a street.
Street? I don't know, maybe 6th or 7th Avenue.
You're gonna overtake Avenue of the Americas and be Sherry Guo.
6, 7.
Oh, Sherry has taken.
The other day, Johnny was like, what about 7, 6? You do it the other way. I'm gonna run with this bit. I'm so sorry to all of my friends.
When the kids start doing 7-6 with their hands pointing down, you will know that Sherry Guo was behind it. Fantastic.
All right, we got a question from a different Emily. What is the OG Anunoby's tip and equivalent in the overall Percy Jackson / Heroes of Olympus universe thus far?
Oh, the OG Anunoby equivalent. I mean, the Damison thing is, non-jokingly, it is the same kind of thing. Like, out of nowhere, overcoming the odds, running through a group of enemies. I think that absolutely makes perfect sense as the thing. I don't know if I can think of anything else that was like so shocking and amazing. The only other thing I could think is like maybe the surprise early kiss with Percy and Annabeth in the 4th book in Battle of the Labyrinth, just because it kind of came out of nowhere, but like would make sense given them. Like, of course OG was the one to do the tip. He's the guy that's like not looking for glory. He wasn't saying, oh, I'm wide open, Jalen passed it to me. Once Jalen shot it, he was like, I'm going in for the offensive rebound, a completely selfless action. What about you? What's the OG Anunoby tip in?
My answer would be a spoiler, so.
Oh, tell me later. Ooh. In a couple of years. Oh, Trials of Apollo. Ah! Okay. What's the next one?
Next one comes from Shannon, who comes all the way from England with their husband. And long story short, the husband, Josh, never really did anything Percy Jackson, had seen maybe sort of kind of the first book, like flicked through it. Can you each give a 1-sentence persuasive pitch to Josh and anyone else for why they need to read the books?
Okay, where are you in the crowd? Okay, sweet. Are you here on a trip and it happened to do it? Or were you like, New York's so close?
It really is only a 6-hour flight.
It's not that long. Oh. Amazing. A well-timed trip for his work trip. Okay, very cool. Okay, a 1-sentence description of why to read the entire series, the first 5, anything. I mean, the thing I would say is just like, it's kind of like the Lay's thing where they're like, bet you can't eat just one. What I would say is read the first page and I dare you not to read the next 5 books. Like the first page is so good and already kind of scratches this sort of itch of being the pitch that like, I don't think you can flip that first paperback page that at least was the first one I read. That's where it ends and not be like, I'm so locked in. That's when I knew after I read the first page. So that's what I would say. I would challenge you to be like, bet you can't stop after page 1.
There's some good jokes in there. Not on the
And you heard it from Sherry. There's some good jokes in there.
All right, we got one from Tori who says, I was wondering which of our heroes or villains you would draft to the New York's women's sports teams, Liberty, Gotham FC, Sirens, and the Heights.
Yes, okay. Drafting who? Just characters from the books? Okay. Sweet. Okay. Wow, that's really good. So yeah, the Heights, if people don't know, it's new. There's a women's baseball league. So it's women playing baseball. The first season's going on right now, but all of the games are in Springfield, Illinois, and they're just like playing them all there at one field. But the New York team is called the Heights, which is such a good name for a New York sports team. And one of their players hit the first home run ever in the league, which was awesome. And now she's hit a bunch. It's super cool stuff. So from drafting people to all those different teams, let's see. I'm assuming I got to get like women characters from it. Let's have Coach Hedge coach the women's baseball team. But then, oh man, that's really fun. If I can, even though she's evil, Keone would be elite on the Sirens, the ice hockey team. Like, it just feels like she would be very, very good. Wee woo indeed, wee woo indeed. Shout out to Sarah Fillier, who has my devotion forever. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think of, is there anyone else like swings things for the baseball? Or like someone who's, yeah, I know we need women, Sherry. Come on, Sherry, women! Name a woman!
Mary Todd Lincoln.
Let's see.
Be a pitcher?
Oh, Rachel? Rachel as a pitcher on the baseball team would be fun. I think Annabeth, like from a very strategic standpoint, maybe she's the coach of the basketball team. Oh, give me like all the women hunters. Give me them on the new archery team. I was gonna have them as the like 3-point shooters on the Liberty. Obviously, Phoebe, who canonically hoops in the books, has to be on the Liberty. Oh, and then Gotham, who's gonna be in the soccer team? Anybody kick? Is anybody like really fast?
Get like a goalie, get the 100-handed one, Briareus.
Oh, wait, name a woman! Name a woman! Clarice is the goalie. Clarice would be a good goalie or defender. I feel like they're very intimidating in soccer. I could see her being like, oh, she's like the Emily Sonnet of the Gotham. Like Emily Sonnet is like absolutely terrifying with like her scowls, but she's phenomenal and great. I hope she heals from her injury as soon as possible. Get Clarice on the Gotham. I think she would be the right vibe. Okay, cool. Next one.
All right, we got a Robert who's not me. So this is Robert who is asking you, since you mentioned Coco earlier in the show, and as a documented Kingdom Hearts fan, did you see the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 that takes place in the Coco world?
I did. That's why it was on the brain, folks. So last night it was like, oh, the Percy Jackson trailer dropped. And I was like, oh, cool, yay. And then they were like, the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer dropped. And I was like, what? They dropped the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and they also announced that they're making a Kingdom Hearts TV show, like animated show that's going to be on Disney Plus. I know, and it's going to like expand the world. And I was like, right, it needed more expanding. So yes, I did watch a trailer which basically just showed like the Coco world, which is such a perfect fit for a Kingdom Hearts game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And then I did think it was very fun that for Kingdom Hearts 4, they just said the date they put late 2027, meaning it will come out on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. And then for the TV show, they just said coming soon, which means it's not coming out for 12 years, but I'm excited. So yes, I did see it. It looked very hype. Are you Kingdom Hearts at all?
I don't know anything about it.
Cool. It's Disney plus Final Fantasy, and it's a very good video game, and the plot is so confusing. Oh, Final Fantasy? No, it's like is it a JRPG? Yeah. I only know Final Fantasy from Kingdom Hearts, so that's all I know. Okay, I think we have time for like one more question. Yeah, one more question.
Well, for starters, first, Erica, who just texted me, wanted to remind you all lovely people that if you did enjoy the improv
Yes,
today,
I was going to do this afterwards, but yeah. So if you enjoyed the improv thing, me, Erica, and a bunch of other Percy Jackson podcasters, folks from Monster Donut, Mal from Demigod Debut, we're going to be doing a improv show for charity at Caveat on September 26th, which is a Saturday, and it's going to be us improvising like an epic Greek myth, and it'll be very fun, and proceeds are going to charity. I'll put the ticket link up on the TNO website, but I'm also tagged in something on Instagram. Go check it there. It's going to be really fun. Erica will be there. She was great. This was fun. It'll be more fun. Cool. Last question.
You know, Mike, I was going to do a bit where I was going to read from my podcast. I'm going to ask you a question, but like we're friends. We can speak each other, face to face, friend to friend. Mm-hmm. So this question comes from the Pit Crew Podcast, Gmail. Heated Rivalry bonus show when?
I have not watched any Heated Rivalry. I'm busy. I fully support everyone having fun with the gay hockey show. Just haven't come across it yet. So I don't know when I will do it, but I am happy to share with all of you that the branding for the Paralympics did the perfect, best branding thing I've ever seen in my life, which is one of the events is hockey, but they're in like sit down skate kind of thing. They kind of like skate with their arms and stuff like that. I don't know the official name of the sport. It might be sled hockey. Okay, it's very cool. It's awesome. But the promo for it, for the final match, they called it Seated Rivalry, which is so good. Because I think it was between the USA and Canada too, which is like next level. Oh, it was so perfect. So I don't know if I will be doing a Heated Rivalry watch-along thing, but maybe I'll watch the game on replay of Seated Rivalry, and I'll just talk about how intense that game
Song
was.
in the background.
The tattoo song?
All the things she said.
Just put that in the background? Okay, great. Does that song come up a lot in the, ooh, maybe, in a very important moment when they kiss and only kiss, and they definitely don't do anything more on that show? Okay, thank you all so much. That was our Q&A. Thank you all so much for coming out. This was a lovely, lovely time. Give it up to Sherry. Give it up to Robert. Give it up to the improvisers. Give it up to Paul and Sequoia. Give it up to Kelly for watching the baby.
I think if Mr. D played every role in Oh Mary, that'd be really good too.
Oh, one-man show. Yeah, that's great. Okay, this is also good that I have the wireless mic because I forgot that there were two things I wanted to do backstage. Can everyone still hear me? This is so fun. Cool. So, because Sherry has stopped editing the show and stuff, people always talk about like giving them their flowers metaphorically. I gave Sherry some flowers physically as a thank you for all the hard work editing. And then speaking of hard work, Robert told me that someone in the crowd knitted this TNO bag. Yes, what's your name? Ella, this is so cool. This absolutely rules. This is absolutely fantastic. I had to thank you. Super duper awesome. But yes, thank you all so much for coming out to the show. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Kelly for watching the baby so that this could all happen. Shout out to the whole team here at Littlefield, Gabe managing, Amon doing sound. Everyone was so awesome, so give them a huge round of applause. After the show, at 11 o'clock, they do have a reggaeton DJ night. I will not be the DJ. It will be someone else. So they'll be trying to kind of like clear out to make room for that. But there is a bar super close by that I have forgotten the name of. Park Life. So you can head on over to there if you want to like mingle around and stuff. But yeah, give it up to the Littlefield people for being so fantastic and awesome. But yeah. But I really appreciate it. This was so much fun. This was an absolute blast to do the show and the intense chapters, and the improv was super duper fun. And I got to come back, maybe to Brooklyn again, maybe to another part of town, but this was so great. I had such a fun time. Cannot wait to do another New York City show for all of you. But until then, thanks so much for coming out, everybody!
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Newest Olympian. This podcast is created, hosted, and produced by me, Mike Schubert. I also run the social media and the website. Our editor is Emma Nelsen, and the music is by Bettina Campamanas and Brandon Grugel. If you just cannot get enough of the show, there's a couple of different things that you can do. First off, you can find us on social media. We're at Newest Olympian on Instagram and other places, but Instagram's where we're most active. You can also support the show on Patreon. TheNewestOlympian.com/Patreon is where you get access to bonus episodes, director's commentaries, behind-the-scenes looks in the pod, as well as our Discord. It's a phenomenal community with lots of wonderful TNO listeners. You can get access to that. The TNO Patreon is also where you can get live show replays and other digital goodies. But you can also go to thenewestolympian.com/merch to rep the show with some physical and digital merch as well. Speaking of the Patreon, let's give a shout out to our producer level patrons in the Olympic court level of the Patreon. So shout out to Kelsey Gillespie, Vicky Garcia, Frida, Megan Moon, Polly Burge, Nikki Harris, Tatiana Schmidt, Sam Reeby, Mrs. O'Leary, Milo Kim, Sandkoff, Rayla Matthews, Sky Mallory, Mick Walters, Grace, Bradimus Prime, Skylar Sisters, Scott Sheldon, Ann M. Thayer Cohen, Bella, Percy Jack's Son, Kit Kat Crumbs, Andrea, not Andrea, Terry Rothfuzz, Certified Ghost King's emotional support friend, Lee Hartley, Marco Redhouse, Raccoon Moon 149, and Kevin Wallbank. If you want to support the show in a non-monetary way, word of mouth is huge, goes a long way for podcast growth. So you could talk about the show with someone directly, you could post about it on social media, you could leave us a rating and review on whatever podcasting app you're using. All these things really do help. I appreciate anyone who has done it in the past or will do it in the future. But I'm just so thankful that you tuned into this episode, and I hope you tune into our next episode, where we will be joined by Owen from Through the Mist to break down chapters 73 through 75 of The House of Hades. But until then, I'll see you later. Hey, everyone, how's it going? It's me, ASMR Mick. So I've gotten a lot of New York Knicks 2026 NBA championship merchandise. I'm looking at a lot of it right now here in my closet. But one that came in that I was really excited about is New York Knicks 2026 NBA championship socks from Stance. Stance is a sock brand that I really enjoy and appreciate. They used to be the official sock partner of the NBA. I wish they were sponsoring the show. I've emailed them many times about it, and they have not taken it, but I'm really excited because they announced right after the Knicks one, hey, we're going to make Knicks championship socks. Sign up for email notifications so that once we make them, you can get them. And I wasn't getting emails, so every now and then I just refresh the page, and one day it just came through. I never got an email announcing it. I just happened to hit refresh on the right day, and I've got a bag of one. I have one pair like already opened, washed, ready to rock. I bought a pair for Joel as well. I bought a pair for Kelly, and then I bought me a second pair for the future that I'm just going to leave in this plastic bag and just like harvest. Because eventually, no matter how well I treat the one pair I have with washing cold and inside out and line drying and stuff, eventually they will get holes and I will want another pair. And here they are. So I'm just going to crinkle the plastic some more, and that's going to be the ASMR Mic segment. Thank you all so much for listening.